Brian's Budget Garage. We're going to replace the power steering pump on this 2006 Crown Victoria. This will be similar for all 8 model Victorias. After 2004, they should be very similar. The earlier ones, 2004 is when they went to from the power steering box to the rack and pinion. So this is the rack and pinion style. The only way to get to this one is from underneath, so it's nice to have a lift. Okay, the first thing you want to do is suck out as much of the power steering fluid out of the reservoir as possible. Here's the reservoir. The power steering pump is way down in the bottom there, and there's tubes on this side that go to the power steering pump. So I'm going to suck out as much out of this reservoir into this bucket as possible. So I'll stick a tube into here, and there is a way. This tube's a little stiff. So I'll drain into there, pull the tube out, stick it back in there so it's not too much of a mess. The next thing you have to do is pull off the belt, because the belt goes around the power steering pump. You have to do that from the top. What you do is you grab your bar like this, the biggest, longest breaker bar you have, and you're going to put it, let me move the camera, you're going to put it into the idler pulley, which is, right. Okay, so you're going to be putting it into this idler arm right there, right over here, and that idler arm has a spring on it, which then keeps this belt tight right here. So you push it away from the belt, and then the whole belt loosens up and you can pop it off. Make sure you know where the belt goes, because you have a belt going all over the place in these serpentine belts, and you need to make sure that it goes on correctly when you put it back on. So take note of how it comes off. But what you have to do is pull this pulley. In this case, we're going to be pulling it away from there, which means pushing it down. So this is how you do it. You put this thing in the idler pulley thing, and it's very easy. When the longer the belt or the handle is, the easier the belt comes off. Do that, and voila, we now have a slack to pull the belt off, like that, like so. Okay, so you move this up like this, and you can see that pulley move, which then loosens everything. So push this up, belt comes off. And then you can release it, move the bar out of the way. Of course, none of the bar wants to get in the way. And you should be able to get this belt off as needed. Here it should come off of everything. All you really need it off is the power steering pump over there. So you don't really need to take the whole thing off. Just get it unlooped from the power steering pump. So one of the things you're going to need when you take those pipes off, all the old fluid's going to run down. So what you're going to want below it somehow is a pan for all that fluid to drip into. You don't want to be spilling it all over the place, making a mess, if you can avoid it. I make a mess anyway, but so before you pull any of those pipes off, you want to get a bucket somewhere near where all the fluid's going to drain into. Okay, what I'm trying to show you here is how you take that pipe off. You can see the wrench there, and you clip onto the pressure clamp, and it's now loose. So now I should be able to, if I can get my hand from getting in the way. So you can see the whole thing's loose now, and the whole thing will slide right off. Not die. Alright, let's try to get this off. Too much much trouble. Come on. Let's try it. Clamp. Clamps off. Now, let's see what we can do about making this drip. Where's it dripping? Just a sec. Yep, that works. Just gonna pour. Catching all the fluid. Not too bad, because I drained that. It goes to the reservoir, and I drain the reservoir. It's not too much fluid. Catching most of it. That's good. Okay, I think you can see the bolts now. There's 4 bolts that keep this thing on. There's you take all 4 of those bolts out, and that pump should just slip right off. You can sort of see them right there. So there's 4 bolts that hold that on, 10 millimeter, and zip them out. First thing you want to do is break them loose before you try to do it. So you have a long extension, and it looks like I can actually get to every bolt from outside, which is good. Long extension, and you just drop them loose, and go for all 4 of them. Pop loose. There you go. And third one. Once you pop them loose, hopefully you should be able to. Really tight. And the last one. There we go. There's 3 of them. There's one left, which can't get the pulley off, so I'm doing it with a very long thread. Doing it with a wrench that has already fell in the dust. So there's the bolt that I'm trying to get at. And you can see it's just really no real room to work around in there. So I'm going to have to use a wrench on that one, because the thing is right below it, which is the dang pipe, which I can't get off, and I can't get the, some reason I can't get the pulley off. It wants to give me trouble, so I need to get it out, put it on the bench. Alright, I've got a weirdness here. I have my pulley puller, and it's pretty much, it's hard to get good tools anymore. It comes with this funny little collar that's supposed to slip over these 2 halves, but it doesn't work. This collar's crap. It's too loose. So I saw this on YouTube. We'll see if this works. I've put 2 pipe clamps around this instead, and to hold them tighter. I tried to use just this, and it started slipping over the little clip, so it's worthless. So if this doesn't work, I don't know what I'm going to do, because I'll have to go get a different pulley or something. But it should pop right off, but it's really unlike what they designed it for. It's been on the car for over 10 years and rust and whatever. Dang thing doesn't come off as easy as they designed. So if your puller doesn't work, try this and see what happens. Alright, starting to tighten up. Now hopefully it'll do this instead of pop out. Way out. Alright. There you go. Off. Oh man. I think this needs some sanding. Look at that. This is what was killing me right here. That's rust right at the edge. Ah, what a pain. Okay, this is how it works. This clamp, or two of them I put on, or that collar that came with it is supposed to hold the whole thing together. You pull the collar off, and you have these two halves that actually, if you look at the end, there's two ridges. Top ridge grabs this washer, the bottom ridge grabs the ridge on this little pulley. And the whole idea is that you put this on here and then it can't come out, assuming these don't move. The only way to make it not move is this. I think that's a much better idea. So you take those off, take it off. Basically, when you tighten down, it forces this into the shaft, pushing it out. I also put grease on this to make it move easier. It's definitely wouldn't hurt to put grease on the end of this either. Thought I had grease on that. Must have dried out. So if you look, it has that clip. If you try to pry on this part of it, you will ruin your pulley. You've got to pry on the center to pull it, the whole hub off without messing up the pulley itself. Alright, this is actually how you put the pump back on. I'm actually doing this on the old one to show how to do it, because it's too hard to film inside the car. But basically it's pretty simple. You got the shaft, you can see the shaft there. This thing right here goes on top of the shaft. Lubricate it a little bit, clean it up. I need to do that both. And then you have this bolt here, which is the right thread that actually screws into here. Okay, so it screws into the center, but to bring it on, you actually have a bunch of washers sitting on top. So you put your washers in there, put that there, and then screw that in. And as you tighten that down from up here, you tighten that thing down, and it's going to pull the whole pulley down onto the shaft. Okay, now my only worry is I couldn't find a grade 8 bolt. This is a grade 5 bolt, but we'll see how that goes. So this one thing I am going to do, I'm going to put some grease on this thread to make sure it goes in any easier. You can adjust things by how many washers you have. There's the pump. Should be able to see all of the bolts. See, there's 4 bolts. I've already put the hoses on with the low pressure hose and the high pressure hose right here. That's the high pressure right there. So it's all together. Now I'm ready just to put the shaft on, or the pulley on the shaft. So I'll try to film it, but there's just no room in here. It's very difficult to film. So put grease on the shaft, put grease in the pulley, slip the shaft on there as evenly as possible. Try to tap it a bit, make sure it's headed the right direction before I put the bit of a tap. Make sure it's good and level. That's probably about good. Now we're going to take our little bolt. I've got grease all over the bolt and the grease on the washers and everything, so everything slides by itself real well, hopefully. And we'll screw this in, and hopefully should be pulling that thing on anytime soon. Alright. Start with a wrench, then I'll try it with a ratchet once I get it going. Big problem, of course, is getting your hand in here to hold it, because the whole thing spins. seems to be going in, or it's doing something. Could just be tightening up. I'm not sure. We'll see. Seems to be working. Make sure you don't over tighten it. You don't want it to hit the pump itself, but it should be almost touching the pump. I'm gonna have to get a screwdriver or something to keep it from moving. Okay, this is what eventually ended up working. I put a socket in between the fan and jammed it into the engine there to keep the thing from spinning. I was trying to rip my hand off. But you can see how the tightening that bolt just sucked it right in. You want to make sure that this, you can't hardly see because of the thing, but how the pulleys line up with the engine pulley there. So it should have almost no, when you look on this side, should be almost no room on the back side too. So that should be good. It's in there. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the belt back on and flow it in and start her up. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and replace the belt since I'm in here. Last thing you want to do is put an old belt on if it's going to pop off. It's not too bad, but if you look at it, it's a little cracked. So I'm going to go ahead and replace the new belt with a new one. Alright, so it's all down, everything's together. Now it's time to fill the reservoir, which is up here on this vehicle. Now this car, you need to look online, make sure you have the right fluid. Most of them take power steering fluid, and this one actually takes Mercon 5 ATF. Read through that a little bit, but the Crown Vic actually takes the Mercon 5 ATF. So you make sure you have the right fluid for your system. I'm going to go ahead and fill this up. You want to be careful, you can always get a funnel, but I think I can pour it nicely. We'll see. See how nice I can pour it. Not as nice as I hoped. Now it's going to be full, so you'll have to actually start the car up and turn the steering back and forth to fill up, to make sure it's good and full, because it's not, it says it's full, but it's not. There's air in all the pump, there's air in all the system, it's all that stuff that leaked out, it's gone. So you need to start it up again, turn it back and forth. You might need to do it 2 or 3 times where you start it up, turn it back and forth until it's actually full. Well, thanks for watching Brian's Budget Garage. Hope this helps if you need to replace your pump. Most pumps are about the same or similar ideas. How they mount is different, of course, and where their reservoir is. So, thanks for watching.